Hello, grandkids. Glad you can make it. My name's Nyla, your resident grandkid host, and welcome to the Grandpod. This is episode 9 of the podcast, but it is also episode 2 of season 2. So if you want to go back and look back onto the last year of season 1, then that's available for you. You can do it now, you can do it later, you can do it whenever, or you can listen or watch the very first episode of this season where this one over here, or probably over there, I don't know where this is going to go after, um, was the guest host and I was the guest. So if any of that interests you, you can listen to it now, you can listen to it later. I don't care. Just listen to it, please, or not. Doesn't really matter. But as I've already alluded to, our guest on this episode is a familiar face if you've already listened to or watched the last one. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, guest? Guest, you want to
Hello,
introduce yourself?
hello. I am guest. I'm baggage. On Twitter. I'm also Nick. You could know me as either, both, neither. A list of other names that are a bit more offensive. Hopefully, I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
familiar face for you because that is fucking unfortunate. I'm a hard to look at guy. Anyway, let's go. Good podcast. Let's kick it off. Woo!
Crazy as hell. Yeah, Nick's on the pod. Yay! That's our super special guest for this week. If you do not know Nick or Baggage, then you didn't watch
Good for you.
my anniversary episode for my podcast. Shame on you. Go do
Oh,
it now. Go listen because it's my baby's birthday and you didn't celebrate. So
probably.
shame on you. But also Nick is our local funny man, Red Rising enthusiast, tea is soup non-believer. And I'm glad to actually have him as a guest on the podcast instead of him torturing me on my own podcast. So it's glad to have you here.
It wasn't that
Thank
bad.
you for being on that. The following question keeps me up at night. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move into the icebreaker question. I want
Mm.
to ask you: would you rather have leg-sized fingers or finger-sized legs?
Again, that's. I mean, that is actually a more interesting one.
Hmm.
Finger-sized legs is a
Okay.
no-go. Although
Okay.
I don't think I can say that on this podcast, but I might tweet it later. And right, leg-sized fingers would be fucking sick. Right? Are you? I mean, on the one hand, I probably wouldn't be able to do much fine mechanic work, so I'd lose my entire career and life and
Yeah.
everything I ever want to do, and I'd need to get like a giant keyboard made if I ever wanted to fucking like type ever again and all this shit. But
Fair.
I could just walk. Imagine the absolute thunder slap you could fucking give someone. Okay, imagine I could literally walk up to someone that's like just walking along a fucking like the side of a river, and I'd slap them. They wouldn't go in the river; they'd go across to the other fucking bank. They'd just like the actual force that's getting transferred. I mean, that alone is worth it.
Okay. You know what? That's fair. That's
You're gonna tell
fair.
me I'm wrong now, aren't you?
No, but I have a plan for the other one. I'm choosing finger-sized legs and I'm going to capitalize off of that. I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast, but I'm choosing finger-sized legs because I can make an entire career off of it. Okay. First, I start making TikToks. Okay. I make TikToks about how my life with finger sized legs. Okay. I get brand deals. I get brand deals and everything. They offer me a show on TLC. Okay. That means, I'm up there with like My Strange Addiction, my 500-pound life. And my show is called Walking Small because I have finger sized legs. Okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. I make bank off of this season after season after season. Okay. I save up my money. Okay. And then I fade off into obscurity. I come back randomly, like a few years later. I sign my autographs every now and again. People see me on the street. Okay. I come back a few years later with stilts. And then I'm like, that's like my liposuction. That's my version of it. And I'm like, I have stilts now. So now I'm normal height. I go on different interview shows talking about my journey to wanting to be a normal height and like be tall, okay? Then people love me again, okay? I'm America's sweetheart, all right? That's where I get my bag again. I get like a C movie, like like a buddy comedy franchise for like 3 films. Um I ride that high for a little while, and then I once again fade into obscurity with my little tiny legs that are now on stilts, and I live my best life. So yeah, it all starts with finger-sized legs.
I've got two questions about that. Right.
Okay, let's go.
Question number one: who the fuck is giving you brand deals? Lego, right?
Are you
Fucking like
joking?
what? Who is giving you brand deals?
Who's
Fuck,
not
fuck.
giving me brand deals? After I
Bro,
blow up
what are
on
you going to be
TikTok,
wearing? Fucking like hamster clothes? I don't get it, right? Number
I
two,
could do that.
number
First off,
two,
I'm
right?
still normal size. My legs are just finger size. I'm
What you?
still
I mean,
normal.
surely that is what the brand deals are going to be based on. No one's going to pay you for fucking like voice acting, are they? Because
It's
you're going to lose out on the little
voice
legs.
acting is wild. No. Because you got to hear me out. It's me modeling the clothes whilst having the legs. I can just model big shirts. You
Well,
don't get it.
but
You don't see the vision. And then also I can get I can start a Twitch stream. Oh my god, I can get G Fuel on that, okay? I can get different energy drinks so they can
fucking
watch me run around on my little legs. You don't get
right.
it. You don't understand how I plan to capitalize on my tiny legs. Next
Question number
question.
two:
Okay.
are these leg? Are you able to walk on these legs? Is it
Yes.
because are they strong enough to? Because if my fingers, I'm not strong enough to walk on my fingers. I'm not like fucking
Mhm.
a Shaolin monk or something like.
Yeah, so the condition of these finger size legs, they have to hold me up, you know?
Right.
So, they're still finger size, but they're strong as all hell. So, and then I can go to the gym and buff up my finger size legs because they're still my legs, they're just finger size.
So you just going everywhere like, just like fucking tiptoeing like. It
Yes.
takes you like 15 minutes to get across a room.
Well, no,
I
I
know,
still
right?
have feet.
Goofy as
I still
hell.
have feet.
Goofy as hell, man.
That's my entire plan. I'm just my favorite part of that is walking small. That's the most TLC sounding title I've ever
Walking
made up in my
small.
life. It's great. It's a
It sounds like
beautiful.
it's a sentence, but it's not. Because who has ever said, "Oh, I'm walking"? There's not a pun there. It's just a nothing collection of words.
It's great.
Who am I to tell you no? I mean, listen. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
But yeah, I've put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah.
There's been slowly more details added over time as I've answered this question, but that's where we are now. That's where we are in my life. So yeah, finger size legs for me. You're choosing leg size fingers like a strange man, and that's fine. Cause what do you do?
You wouldn't be
The
saying, you wouldn't be
slap is
talking to me like that. You wouldn't be talking to me like that if I had fucking leg-sized fingers, right? First of all.
because like what would you? Okay. Anyways, that was our icebreaker question for this one. I think we're a little bit more comfortable. We got a little more bit
Delighted.
more going on. Okay. Now it's time for the interview. If you don't know what the interview section is, you are new here. So every single episode, I go through and I ask the grandkid that I have a bunch of questions just to get to know them better, how they found grandson, their involvement with the grandkids, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. I do this every single time, and it's just for a way for us to be able to get to know our other grandkids better. So, are you ready for the interview?
Yep.
Okay, so first question, ask it every single time. How did you find grandson? What was your story to finding grandson? Where are you on my podcast right now from finding that man? So,
Right. So I found grandson. Picture me as a little. I mean, I would have been what, maybe 17. Which would have been in 2017. Does that check out? Might have been 2018. I'm not sure. Um, little, little fuckwit, right? Um, lying in my bed. Um, watching, fucking around, watching YouTube video. Maybe music on while I'm playing some Minecraft or some shit. I don't know. Whatever I did back then, I don't remember. And along on the YouTube video, right, on the autoplay comes Missio. Everybody gets high, and
real.
I was like, holy shit, I, there's something to this. There's something to this. I was like, okay, and then after that comes on, grandson bury me face down, and I was like, fucking okay. There's something to this. There's something to. This was like I wouldn't say my first little venture into this genre, but you know when YouTube like gives you one thing and you like it, and so it just starts fucking just spaffing them on you. That's basically what happened. So and after that I was like, right, this fucks. And I think I got like 2 or 3 songs later into the autoplay, and then Best Friends came on, and I was like, right, So this is me now. So I'm gonna fucking this guy is going into the folder. He's in. He's in the
Wow.
folder. I'm keeping him in. And so I sort of took that knowledge. I was like, right, I like this guy, and like any self-respecting little depressed 17-year-old, having liked it, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't do nothing about it. Didn't go to any shows. Didn't do nothing. Fucking War came out pretty soon after, and I was like, yep, this fucks as well. Getting on with this. Modern Tragedy Part 1 came and went. Part 2 came and went. Part 3, fantastic. Love that. Some other things came out. I was like, I'm aging at this point. The years are tumbling on by. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then somewhere around, it will have been mid to late 2019. I was like, I'm gonna look for this man on Twitter. Why have I not looked for this man's tweets yet? Bearing in mind, up until this point, I didn't know what Jordan looked like. I didn't know anything about him. I just knew his songs. I didn't know shit about him. I'd never Googled him, right? I thought, first of all, he would have been this fucking, like... Because he sings like he's a proper fucking, like, badass dude, right? And like, I'm talking, like, bury me face down, like, oh, I'm fucking hardcore. He's playing Kiss Bang like he's some fucking little womanizer, right? I'm just astounded, right? I find this guy on Twitter, and it's just not what I expected. It's just a dude. It's just like a little fucking, just a fella. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a guy,
Just
and
the fella is crazy.
just a fucking little individual. You know what I'm saying? And so from that point, I see the Twitter, and then I see in the replies something about a Discord server, and I'd been on Discord for a while. I've been on Discord for a long time at that point, so I was like, yeah, all right, I'll check this out, and just the floodgates opened. I come on, and I won everyone over. Because obviously I'm a jarring guy, but I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna win people over with my personality and good looks. And now we're here. Everyone loves me. Everyone loves me. You can't get enough. Um, so yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. And then I started going to his shows. But yeah, that was good.
Okay. Wow, thank you for the history lesson. On that note of everyone loving you, how does it feel to have that much support from the grandkids for you to have won like the Great Granpod Election of 2022 to 2023? Like how did that feel to have so much support backing you so you could like
Oh,
host this little podcast of mine?
I don't win stuff like that like ever. I never do, and I honestly didn't think I had a chance because obviously the other two are pretty cool. They're pretty fucking cool. I mean, they're pretty fucking cool.
Shouts out to
So
Liam and Theo.
yeah, seriously. And I was like, with Theo getting the podcast beforehand, I was like, it's over. It's over. Like I think I tweeted out at the time, like Theo is the coolest motherfucker in the
It's
world.
so real.
And yeah, but I think honestly, I just annoyed people into voting for me. I was just like, I just kept tweeting it out. Obviously Eli and Joe being fucking fantastic little degenerates of their own accord, made some beautiful campaign posters for me. So I don't feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's less my achievement and just kind of everyone's. It doesn't. It's not like an ego thing for me. It's like, I'm grandson president. I do talk shit about it, but at the same time, it's like, we did a cool thing. We made cool things together, and I'm just happy to have been a part of it. You know.
Yeah. I get that. Okay, awesome. And then in the same realm of like grandkids, tell me about some of like your grandkid experiences. You said that you finally are getting out and going to shows. So like talk about your grandkid experiences both like in person and online, like this community that we've built up.
hmm
Obviously, just kind of explain your experience with the grandkids a little bit.
I mean, the grandkids. First of all, I actually caught a little bit of flack for saying this last episode, but I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna double down. In fact, I'm gonna triple down. If I could quad down, I
Real.
would, but maybe a bit early for that. But the grandkids are
Wow.
fucked. You're nuts. You're fucking mental, bruv. Okay, I don't give a shit. Stop tweeting at me. They're on some shit. So like, but it's in the best way. It's with love because it's like I have had so much support, and honestly, my best friends, they're all fucking grandkids. Even mates that I had before finding out about grandson, they've got into him independently without my influence, and now we just chat about it. It's
That's
fucking
dope.
bonkers. It's really cool. I mean, like the first thing that comes to mind is just like the support I've had through the years, just knowing all the grandkids and shit. Genuinely my best friends. I mean, that's why it's the best friends part 2 meme, because it's fucking awesome. I love it. Um, yeah, I wouldn't be half the person I am if it wasn't for the grandkids. So that's one thing. An actual uh the first like actual physical event that comes to mind is the first sort of time I saw grandson perform live. Being the European that I am, we're starving out here. We are You get shows like every week. You get to fucking go out and see him right on your front door. I've got to travel. I've got to go international most of the time. It's fucking mental. The first time I saw grandson was at Rock am Ring, which is a big music festival at the Nürburgring racetrack in Germany. If you know anything about me, you know I fucking like race cars, and you know I fucking like grandson. So it was pretty fucking cool. I discovered a lot of really cool bands there. As well, I was there with my girlfriend, and she fucking loved a load of stuff. And it's actually was kind of the first festival I'd ever really done.
Mm.
I think it was on the third day, and I was one of the first through the gates on the third day. Right, bolted. The first thing I did, get through the gates. Absolutely, run to the stage. Stage is empty. Run and take a shit. Run back to the stage. Still got my central barricade position, so we're good. We're good. Tactical dump has taken place. We've let the kids go, and we're ready to go. So I basically
Tactical dump.
camped out there all day, and a lot of the bands were fucking good. Some of them were German. Shout out to Schmutzki, Du bist mein Zeltplatz baby, number one. Um,
Fun.
uh, but it was honestly, it was really sick just seeing all these bands that I'd never seen before, and there was like a lot of variety, even though it's like a rock festival, but there's a lot of variety still. And then I remember seeing fucking Grandson, like people with his shirts on starting to set up shit, and I was like, fuck, I'm like emotional. And right as I started seeing them, everyone started putting jackets and shit on because it just started fucking pouring with rain, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. I didn't have a jacket or an umbrella or anything. I didn't want one. It was I think the middle of June, so it's hot as fuck, so it was like quite nice, but just pouring with rain, and it's all just running down my face. There's pictures of me looking absolutely fucking mental for this show because it eases up a bit just as he starts his set, and he's just banging in through the fucking grandson classics, and I'm losing my fucking mind. There's a picture of me at the barricade, veins bulging out of my head, I'm like just absolutely going for it. Like properly. I think my girlfriend thought I was a bit mental at that point.
Real.
He then decides to fucking jump over everyone and start crowd surfing his little yellow wellies and starts trying to boot everyone in the head like a little crazy fucking mad guy that he is. Um, but yeah, I honestly, the only thing is I really wished it had played rain. But something about seeing grandson in the fucking rain at a festival in the middle of a different country, everyone there's nuts. You've just had such a good day, and I'm just sitting there. Everyone else has got like jackets and shit, and I'm just fucking soaked. Just like this is like a biblical experience for me. Like I was just like, holy shit, I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life. It was nuts, but he didn't play best friends. He didn't fucking play
Damn.
best friends. Show
That's
number
a little
two that I saw him,
disrespectful.
I went fucking a long old way up to a different part of England, but it was a fucking pretty terrible ride. Set up a tent. Went and saw my friend Kid Brunswick. Shout out to that guy, fucking legend.
Word.
Performing, and then grandson was a bit later in the day, I think. So I was like posted up there waiting for him. It was all right. They kind of fucked it up where you couldn't really hear his vocals, but it was
Mm.
what it is. Still fucking cool, but still no best friends.
Mm.
Grandson show number 3. Now this one's one for the history books. Grandson Paris, right?
Oh yeah, that's
Right,
the
this one's
one.
one for the history books.
That's the
Everyone
one.
agrees to go to Paris. My personal little story here is I was like, right, we're gonna go Paris. So obviously the logical thing to do would be to book a flight out, book a hotel for the night, book a flight back in the morning. No. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna book a Ryanair £9 flight. I'm gonna go to Eindhoven. Okay. From Eindhoven, I'm gonna get on a bus like across half of fucking Europe with Eli and Joe. We're gonna go down into Paris, right? We're gonna fucking bear in mind this is like 2 nights. Like the night there, the night back. Didn't book a hotel. I was just like, fuck it, we'll sleep on the bus, or I'll just tramp it. I don't give a shit. Um, so that was it. It was kind of nuts, just making our way there. We get there, and it's like the grandkid Avengers are assembling. I mean, there was a few notable faces missing, such as yours truly, but um, wait, is yours truly? Does that mean me or you? You anyway. You.
I don't.
Um,
It doesn't matter. I understand
anyway,
what you meant.
you weren't there. But we had Manon, we had everyone else. I'm not gonna name everyone, but everyone was there. And
Yeah,
it
it was star studded. Like it was
fucked.
like the event. It was the event. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn,
it
I
was
got
like on
work
my
today.
right side. I just had so much love for that group of people. On my left side, some little French dick that tried to take my fucking signed set list. You didn't get it, by the way, you little French mug. It's up on my fucking wall. It's duct taped up there, along with my signed Best Friends Part 2 shirt, you French prick, okay? Fuck you and your shitty haircut. Don't ever try and take my shit again. Dickhead. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, it was really hot. I got a set list. We had a little chat afterwards, which was nice, and they played Best Friends. At which point, I just fucking lost my mind. I was like,
Real,
it's happening. And that
real
was the last time I saw Grandson. So I've only ever seen him 3 times. But yeah,
word. We're gonna go into the next question, which is, how does your experience as a non-American grandkid factor into how you digest the more political messages of grandson's music?
right. So I mean, this is an interesting question because on the one hand, you've got songs like Thoughts and Prayers, which is just like that don't happen here. Like, I mean, we get
Hmm.
mad stabbists, but a lot of that's gang violence and shit, and it's not as a civilian is not so much of a thing. We don't have a lot of the gun violence. It's not a thing. All right,
Yeah.
shooting is they're not rare, but anyway. Um, so stuff like that as someone that's outside of America, I'm just like, shit, it's fucked up. I hope my American friends are safe. Um, and I mean, that whole thing is nuts. Like, we hear a little bit about that in this country, when something serious happens. But, like, I was, going around London with a couple American grandkid friends of mine, and the car went under a bridge, and it was a pretty cool car. It was doing a fucking exhaust backfire, so it was like pop, 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 fucking exhaust explosion, and they like fucking ducked for cover. It was nuts. Like I just that kind of shit,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
But then
Yeah.
you've got the other stuff where it's like the kind of Trumpism and fucking crazy political people. Just the whole fact that politics in general is seems to no longer be about anything other than just if I say crazy enough shit, people will always back me, and enough people will hate me in order to keep me in a fucking job. Stuff like that. I think as sort of especially as British people, we have a sort of arrogance to us, where we look at like Trump and stuff. Well, oh god, he's fucking annoying, isn't he? And meanwhile, we've got absolute fucking mushrooms for prime ministers. I mean, at the time we had Boris Johnson, who he can. I'm not even gonna say what I was supposed to say because it's pretty fucking mean. But anyway, then we had Liz Truss, who I mean, to quote or misquote someone, is going to be the first prime minister to ever die because she forgot to breathe. She's got an abandoned barn for her head. The only thing that's going on in there is like it's like they should study it like fucking Large Hadron Collider into her head and see what the fuck. It's like a void, right? I guarantee you put your hand in there, it's going to come out in a different solar system. Um,
Yeah.
like and all of these people are backed by this crowd of just fucking nutters, bruv. They're all tweeting about, like, fuck, sell off the NHS, we don't need it, we need private healthcare like America. And I'm just, like, sitting here hearing about all my American friends that are just suffering. So it's less of, like, I guess Grandson's music is less of, like, this is what's going on in your country, but it's more of, like, a cautionary tale for me. It's like, this is what's fucking gonna happen. They're coming. You know, I mean, all of politics these days seems to be just you trying to convince someone else that someone is coming for their thing and you need to fight to defend it, whether it be anything, you know, like from both perspectives. Someone's coming for your guns, you got to defend it. Or like someone's coming for your fucking right. It's just who's someone, who gives a fuck. Now you're up in arms and you're on their side. And yeah, I think, you know, his music being super political like that, it's a warning. It's a warning for someone that's kind of lucky enough to not have to deal with it firsthand.
Yeah. Wow, that was really good answer for that. That was a really good answer. And the last question in our interview, is not a question I made up. I was told to ask you about the cat ears. Can you please
fuck off!
explain to me?
No, no, fuck. Hold on. Right. Oh, fuck off. I thought this was. I left work like not early, but on time for this. Okay, I was like, this is. Fuck's sake.
I'm
Right,
not at
so,
liberty to say
right,
who, but I was
right.
told
Well,
to
first
ask.
of all, I know who it's gonna have been. There's certain names, and I'll refine it. I'll figure it out. Okay. Okay, we've got time before this fucking podcast goes live. I'm gonna start an inquisition, right? Second of all, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity. Okay, twitch.tv/baggageR3. I do streams very rarely, and that's where this story comes from. I don't remember how exactly it came about, but obviously you know the whole gamer guy fucking to like cat girl pipeline. You know, 1 second you start
I
fucking.
can
So
hear them. I can hear them.
it's like an ASMR stream.
It's making me nervous.
So basically, I don't know how it came about. That's the fucked thing. I don't remember. Did I buy these as a joke or is this a real thing? I don't remember anymore. But on my streams, it was a bit of a. I think it was like I reached a certain goal. So I whipped out the cat ears. And what I don't like, right, is after we got these, right? After we got these, I mean, obviously, don't you fucking dare laugh. Every time I shake my head with anger, bells happen and it infuriates me so much. It makes me so angry, right? I hate this. Look at me in the. My ancestors are crying. I'm related to like Vikings and shit. Fuck. I've forgotten what I was saying. I don't know where these came from. This is like psychic damage. I like lose 10 IQ every time I put these on for a little bit. They like suppress what's going on in my head. I think I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. I said also at 2,000 sub points, so that if I ever have 2,000 concurrent subscribers, which is never gonna happen, right? Literally, that's like if I'm no, because I'd have to be like a fucking rock star for that to happen, right? If that happens, full maid outfit, full, right? Because that's the level we're at. Full maid outfit for a stream, and it'll be a long stream. We'll do a little thing, right?
Goodness
Anyway,
gracious.
fucking get out of that shit. But yeah, so that's. Well, there's not really a question. Ask him about the cat ears, but
I was just told to.
I just want to say. In fact, I'm not even going to bother putting in the effort to find out who asked that question. Okay, but I've got some theories. It can only be someone that I'm close to, that I'm friends with, that I like. Obviously, you think you're funny, right? You think you're funny. I just want you to know. I just want you to know, right? Oh, that's fucked up everything. I shouldn't have done that. I just want you to know. You're a motherfucker, okay? Let me just. I feel like I'm reaching out and fucking grabbing you by the throat. I just want you to know. I think you are a dickhead. And
That's
this
funny.
actually can't see all this shit on my bedroom floor. Oh god. No. Right. Yeah,
Oh,
podcast. Let's keep going and brush
woo!
past that bit.
And that's the end of our interview. I shall pass on the message to the person who had me to say that. And
Just tell him
now,
specifically, motherfucker, and just leave it at that.
got it. Okay, we'll do. Now it's time for our game. It is officially game time on the podcast. And I just want to preface this off by saying I lied to Nick before the podcast about what the game was. He thinks that we're gonna do a game about Red Rising, and we're not. I am as petty as I've ever been, and the Fallen game keeps me up at night. So what I did was I went through every Grandson song, and I found out when he says the word "the." So we're gonna answer some questions about the word "the" in Grandson songs.
You're not gonna get accurate answers. I don't know what you're
I
trying to
know
prove a point.
it's just I was so angry and
Yeah.
I did so much
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely okay
But have
with
you
that.
figured
This
out
is
what
for
the
my
answer
own
was yet,
personal
though?
journey.
Have you figured out what the answer is? Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah. So do you agree?
Do I agree? I
Yeah.
don't care. I've
Oh, it seems like you
completely-
care. It seems like you
I've-
care an awful lot.
I don't care. I don't care about the answer. I care about the principle of the question. It's the principle of the game that made me angry. I did actually. There was a point where I was planning the Red Rising game, and then it was literally I had it in my notes. I had the entire game planned out, and then last night I got home from work. I'm half asleep, and I'm like, you know, it'd be funny if I counted the word "the" in every song, which was like, yeah, that's a very half asleep Nyla thing to
Yeah,
do.
good job. No, that's good.
And I did it. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Why not? It's a party.
Fuck
So
it.
out of all of the Grandson songs,
Yeah.
not including ones that he's featured on, but ones that are just under the Grandson name, what song uses the word the most?
Oh no.
Take again. You think, oh no?
That's my final answer.
That's your final answer? That's a pretty good guess, but you're wrong. It's Rain. Rain uses it the most, which is really interesting because I did not know that. All right, next. Out of A Modern Tragedy, Volume 1, 2, and 3, which one uses the most?
I'm gonna say, fuck it.
33% chance.
Bloodwater. Wait, oh, you mean
The entire EP.
Oh, yeah, like the first one, I guess.
The first one?
Yeah, fuck it.
Nope, it's the second one. The second one has 110. The first one has 88, and then the third one has 90.
Silly me. Fucking hell.
Okay, and then out of all of the pre-EP singles, so that would be Bills, Bury Me Face Down, Kiss Bang, Best Friends, Thoughts and Prayers, or War, which one has the least amount of those used?
Best Friends.
It is Best Friends. I knew you would get that one right because you'd guess Best Friends.
No, that wasn't.
See?
I literally just went through the lyrics in my head and I was like, I don't say there that much in that song. Fuck it, we'll go for that one.
All right, now we're going to the true or false section. The song on Death of an Optimist that has the least uses of the word the is World War III. True or false? That's false. Next, We Did It has the most does on World War III. True or false?
False.
True. Next, out of the songs, the ones that are tied for the most, so not the most, the Rain has the most with 41, but the ones that are tied for the most are Bloodwater and Stigmata with 27.
That's really precise. And then I'm going to say false.
What part of it is false?
The question.
So are you saying that those songs are not, do they not have 27 streams, or are they not the tied for the most? Or do they not have 27?
They don't have 27, and they're not tied for the most. And
they do have 27, but they're tied for the most. They're not tied for the most. but they do have 27. The ones that are tied for the most are, I believe it is Thoughts and Prayers and Dark Side with 32 each. Those are the highest tied ones. And then, um, okay, this is fun. Um, in Fallen, there are more I's, so of the I's, than there are thes. True or false?
Yeah, true.
True. You're correct. And then the last one of this, because I didn't want to make too many questions. It's never that
I
deep.
can do this all day.
Um,
it's like
you're
it's
just
like
doing it.
it's like
It's
what I
just
did
fun
in
for
fucking
me.
school. I just fucking picked. I was just like, yeah,
Just
pick a
exactly.
random
I
answer.
couldn't do that. Oh, I couldn't do that. I overthought everything.
Look at me,
Last
ma.
one is I want you to put these in least to greatest order of thes. Intro, interlude, and outro. So Death of an Optimist, Ballad of GNX, and
Uh,
Welcome to Paradise. In least to greatest.
okay, so that'll be intro, interlude, outro.
In that order from least to greatest?
Yeah.
It's backwards. Okay, anyways, we're gonna go into your topic. So that's the end of the game. Thank you so much for participating in our game for today. And we're gonna go ahead and go into your deep dive topic. If you don't know what the deep dive topic is, I invite my grandkid guests to go in and talk about something that they care about, whether it be a more serious subject, something about their culture, something that they just know a lot about, like me and my grandsonology in the last episode. And it's Nick's turn. So, Nick, what's your topic? What have you brought to the class for today?
I was just say this isn't going to be anywhere near as good as the grandsonology chat that we had last week. Nowhere near as good. There's no beating that. I've
It's
thought
hard.
about it to great length. I thought about serious topics. I thought about stupid things. I thought about just having a rant for about 15 minutes, which I'm sure would have
Fun.
been great, but you know. Um, the only real thing that stuck is I am a guy that has one sort of core passion above everything else. It's my job, it's my whole life, it's my hobby, and that is motorsport. I fucking love it. Now, I know for a fact a lot of grandkids listening to this are going to be like, he's going to talk about cars. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I like music and I like fucking like liberalism, eating hot chips, lying, okay, charge their iPhone, you know, whatever, right? But this is my passion, so I'm going to try and put a bit of love into it. So, for anyone that's like obviously fucking stupid, motorsport is it doesn't have to be. People think it's just cars. It's not just cars. Okay, it's going fucking fast. Whether that be with a car, a motorbike, a fucking helicopter, a fucking boat, it doesn't matter. And there's so many fucking forms of it. I think it's beautiful. But deep down, the central core idea is just going as fast as fucking possible. It's a man and machine intertwined, linked together, going as fucking insanely quick as possible. Now, I probably sound a little bit fucking loopy talking about it like this, but I honestly think it's incredible. From my perspective, I've always loved like just like engineering shit, and I just think this is the coolest form of anything. It's like I don't know. It's just really pure. I guess my main plan for my deep dive topic was just to talk about kind of my experiences with it. I guess first I'll talk about there's different forms of this. So to go into it briefly, you get things like really close like circuit racing. So that's something like Formula One, where you've got like 10 teams, 20 cars, best drivers in the world, all the fucking money in the world, going absolutely fucking wheel to wheel mental on a circuit for 2 hours, spending fucking hundreds of millions of fucking dollars a year just trying to be the fastest fucker in the world. It's stupid. The levels that they go to is absolutely ridiculous. Um, the it's as pure as you get when you combine in someone's fucking talent with an 1,000 horsepower fucking nutter, right? It's fucked, right? And that if you don't believe me, there's a documentary on Netflix about it. It's called F1 Drive to Survive. Fucking check it out, right? For you fucking weirdos, um, You'll probably get a crush on someone in the show. They're pretty cool. So, another form of racing, probably the most unhinged, I'll say would be motorcycle road racing. Now, as everyone fucking knows, me especially, motorcycles are really fucking dangerous. Dangerous as fuck. I mean, you'll die. But imagine if they took all of the fucking roads in your local area, closed them, made them, didn't do much to them, just basically made them into a fucking racetrack, and said, just go 200 miles an hour down just your fucking front, just your street, right? It's fucked. There's an island called the Isle of Man, and the entire circuit on the outside of the island, it goes through a village and everything. They shut the whole fucking road around the entire outside of this island, and it just turns into a festival of fucking racing and carnage. It is inhumanly dangerous. I mean, bearing in mind, in this one event, an average of about 4 or 5 riders will die every year, just fucking sending it around an island. And not being involved in motorsport, you're probably thinking, well, what's the fucking point? What involved in what is worth risking your life out of all of that? But sometimes it just fucking, you just gotta say fuck it and go. And I people that I know have been fucked up. They've lost limbs and shit. It's really fucking dangerous. But it's, again, just the purest it fucking gets when it comes to going fast, and it's just something I love. And then the sort of main thing I'm going to talk about is endurance racing, right? So this is where it's a bit like Formula One, but instead of going for 2 hours, you've got to go for fucking 24 hours. You've got multiple drivers. You've got multiple fucking you've got, bearing in mind as a mechanic, you've got to stay awake for like a long time. I'm gonna get into that, but it's probably, I don't know, one of the few great races that hasn't been shut down by health and safety or whatever. The pinnacle of 24-hour endurance racing would be Le Mans, which is a very, very, very old race. In fact, it's been going on for about 100 years now. Started in a small little village called Le Mans in France. It was actually a race between 3 fucking villages. They didn't even have a proper circuit, and people would get fucking mangled in these old cars. There was no safety. People are getting fucking set on fire. Some of the stories of the pioneers in these vehicles are mental. Like this race alone, the amount of fatalities got motorsport banned in Switzerland to this day. You still can't do races there because of what fucking happens here. And so these cars that started 100 years ago, they actually still race it to this day in an event called the Le Mans Classic. And this is kind of where I come into all of this. So my sort of entire adult life, I've been training to be an engineer, training to be a mechanic, a race mechanic, because this is what I fucking love. I appreciate I'm probably not doing a very good job of making this sound interesting. I'm probably just saying go fast, fun. But I don't know. I don't really know how to turn my passion into words, but it's everything to me. The like dedication that I've had to put in to get into this position that I'm in now, where I'm a sort of a project lead and I do race mechanic stuff, and I'm 22 years old at my company, and we are the top company in the world on the cars that we work on. So that's like, I worked really fucking hard to get here, and there's a lot of self-doubt, and we'll get into that as well, and it's really difficult, but I love it so much. So the Le Mans Classic is an event that takes place every 3 years, and it's where all these cars that started Le Mans, they come back to the track and they take it over for a little bit, and you get all these just crazy rich fuckers that take these cars that are like millions of pounds, millions of dollars, millions of whatever currency you want, rupees, probably billions. There's a lot of them, but this is just, I'm just currency.
Okay.
I don't know. So I was in an airport, waiting to go and see my girlfriend in Germany, and I got a text from the ops manager at my company, and it said, "Nick, do you have a passport?" And I was like, Yeah, yeah. Why? And it was like, fantastic. You're going to Le Mans in 2 weeks. I had no idea this was coming up. I barely knew that we were prepping for it because I was, I think, in a different department at the time. Um, and yeah, he just dropped the bomb on me, and I was like, okay, who's coming with me? And I got one guy to come with me. To sort of run all of our cars in this event, which worked out as being four with another. It's a lot of work, and he was less experienced than I was. So it basically meant that I was running my team at Le Mans Classic. So instantly at that point, I'm fucking buzzing. I'm texting my mum. I'm like, holy shit, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. This is all I've ever wanted. But at the same time, it's like I don't know if I know if I can do this. Like seriously, there's going to be things that happen, and I don't know if I can do it. So we get to the day before. I'm with my little apprentice buddy that's coming with me, and things go wrong before we even get to France. So my boss is eccentric, to say the least. We have a very small van that I have to load every bit of equipment and anything I'm going to need, and that's a lot of shit. Um, I load up a toolbox with all of my stuff in it, and he's like, "No, you can't take that. I want you to unload all your tools, put them in a wooden box, and we're taking that instead. You're not taking your toolbox." And I was like, "Okay, we're off to a good start here then." He also wanted me to take a radiator for one of these cars, not because we might need it, but to gift it to someone, which was they're worth something like 12 grand, brand new. So he was like, "Yeah, don't scratch that," and it's in a van full of tools and shit. So there's a lot of things to worry about. Um, so things go wrong before we get on the ferry, but we eventually pull all our shit together. We get going. We get going across. We end up in the north of France, and all the other guys just piss off without us in their actual race cars, just driving down to the circuit, and they're like, "Ah, you guys can catch up." So we're fucking herring it down from the north of France to this track in a van. The guy that's driving, bearing in mind that I ride motorbikes, I don't have a driving license. So this apprentice is
Oh,
driving that's never fucking done shit before, absolutely levering it in this fucking van. There's shit flying around in the back. It's fucking nuts. And this is so we get to the circuit. We finally caught up with the guys. So we roll into one of the most beautiful historic circuits ever in a convoy of four fucking Bentleys and then us just rolling in. This entire town or city, I guess it is now, just dresses up like in vintage shit for the event. All the police, they're like vintage motorbikes and they put on all their like old school clothes and shit. They look like village people. Fucking great fun. And they're literally we had a police escort into this event. Like they fucking close everything. Mad experience. We get there, we managed to chuckle our shit out of the van, set up, and we get about a day to sort of just go around and do a bit of sightseeing, just sort of chill out for a bit. And we're like, oh, this
mm-hmm.
isn't so bad. We can do this. Is where did all that self doubt come from? I'm just looking at cars and everything works. It's great. Um, we had the first practice session the day afterwards, and that's when things went pretty badly wrong from the outset. Um, Obviously, these cars are very old and very temperamental, and I'll spare you the details. But one of them, the engine went fucking nuts, and we couldn't run it anymore, and it's worth like £24 million, and we can't risk losing that. So we just sort of put that one away straight away. We're like, we'll get to that later if we get the chance. Another one, all the coolant just fucking dropped out of it in the middle of the pit lane, and some French dude got really angry with me, just because it's made a mess of his pit lane, and I was like, dude, it is what it is. And I'm sitting there, and this fucking guy that owns it, really sound bloke, but he's also like a fucking multi-billionaire, like owns a lot of Las Vegas. It's just like, just looking at me, waiting for me to fix it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. We don't have the spare parts for this. So I'm like hacking shit apart with a saw, just like looking nuts. Um, Things are going wrong. So I don't get much sleep that night. The day afterwards, I believe we have qualifying for the three races, and things go wrong there as well. Shit is just falling off these cars all over the place, and I'm on like maybe 2 hours of sleep fixing it. Um, I mean, you turn up in the morning though, and you don't really notice because of the adrenaline of the situation. It's fucking crazy. Uh, I'm just like, yeah, I'm ready to go. So I'm working on all this stuff, and my little apprentice guy, he's doing a fucking great job. We're going for it. We get everything together just before qualifying. They go out, everything fucking breaks again, and this time we've got a race in like 4 hours. So we're like, shit, it's serious now. The first race happens, more things fucking break. No time to rest here. So I think somewhere between the first and the second race there was quite a long break, so we were able to get a bit of sleep in. Race number 2, things go really fucking wrong. Another engine falls apart, and this time it's one that we have to fucking fix with none of the stuff. So it starts. We got to the track at 10 in the morning on Saturday, and we were going until like 4 in the morning, and then I sent the apprentice off to get a couple hours of sleep before the first race in the morning, and I was just going for it still, and I kept fucking going for it, and there was like 2 more races, and it got to the end, and I was literally just praying for these fucking cars to get across the line. Like, I've never felt the strength of feeling like that before in my life, where it's like, I really need these cars to finish. Like, I need them to finish. This is so important to me. And it's not even like from a careers perspective. It's just like, when you can tell, like, this is what I'm here for. This is what I do. Like,
Yeah.
I've been awake for 36 hours and I'll keep fucking going. This is what I'm here for. And it, the feeling watching these cars cross the line, because of the way things work, our car that actually came first was the last one to cross the line in like one of the last groups, and we were just sitting there, me and this guy just leaning out over the track, just like, where is it? I can't see it. I don't know where it is. Just not happy. And then it comes around this final fucking corner, and on the TV feed, I've watched back, and you can see us. We basically like lean out from the pit wall over the track, and we're just going like, "Fucking yes, we did it!" It's coming across the line, and it's just the most jubilant I've ever felt. I don't think I've done a good job of really talking about it, but I was um so amazed that we did what we did. And throughout this entire process, I was having fucking kittens. I was talking to all my little grandkid buddies about I just don't know if I can do this, and this is a huge thing for me. And if I fuck this up, everyone's gonna know I fucked it up, and that's gonna be the end of my career. And it's nuts. But at the same time, just the adrenaline of everything, meant that we kept it going and we held it together. And I ended up being kind of guest of honor at their like big rich people dinner afterwards. And they didn't let. There's this
Wow.
really funny picture where like they didn't we didn't get any chance to sleep, so I've been up for a long time, and they told me not to change out of my overalls or anything, so I am caked in shit, head to toe, fucking exhausted. All the like elite are just sitting on this table in front of me, like, oh yes, I run a shipping company, and I'm just sitting there like, don't say cunt, don't say cunt. I know you're tired. Don't say cunt. Um, it, but I can't. I don't know. This is everything to me in a way that nothing else is, because everything has just such intense emotions attached to it. I can float through life and not really give a shit about a lot of stuff, but when it comes to this, everything that happens is crucial. I'm a fucking jubilant. I'm absolutely terrified. Everything. Motorsport is everything to me, and I don't know. I struggle to talk about it sometimes because I think, maybe people don't really care so much. It is just cars going around in circles at the end of the day. Um, but this is my life, and I love it. I love it a lot. So that's me. I hope that
Yeah.
wasn't too shit. You look really
No,
fucking. You look
it
like you were
was
just like,
great. I zoned
when will
out
it
because
end?
I was
When
listening.
will it
My
end?
No, I zoned out because I was listening. My brain, I can't focus on too many things at once. So I was like, I need to listen to this. And when I do that, I zone out a lot. But I was listening to the entire thing, and I thought the way you did it was you talked about it really, really well, because now I know more and I can
I
kind
think
of grasp
it's
it.
something really cool, and I think the more you find out about it, the more, I don't know. There's something for everyone. I really believe it, and like, it may be stupid, but having someone to cheer for in their little fucking death machine, is it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. I honestly, it was really nice because I have no connection to this at all whatsoever. I don't even know what happens in those things. Uh,
Hmm.
but the way you were able to explain it and talk about your experience with it, whenever you hear someone talk about something that they're passionate about, it's it should interest you, right? Because that's someone's
Yeah.
passion. And hearing you talk about that was like, damn, am I passionate about something? Yeah. And then I was able to connect because I was like, I completely understand
Yeah.
having your
It's
like
who I
everything
am.
put into this one thing. And it's like whether and I completely understood what you were talking about when you were like, if I didn't like pass this exam, right? If I didn't finish that, then I I would be set back on my journey so
Yeah.
much and it would hurt me as a person, like deep down as a person. It wouldn't not even like a career stance. Fuck that. This is what I'm meant to do and the fact that there is a possibility that my passion is something that I'm not able to properly do would break my soul more than any torture or
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
else in this world. So
100%.
I was like, I completely felt that, and
I think
I
it's like it's not a career. Like it's a for me, it's not a career. It's actually my dream. Like I
yeah,
believe that one day, from working for this what is a dinky little team, I believe fully in myself that one day I'm gonna be at the very top, working for like the F1 teams. You know, changing tires in fucking 2 seconds. I believe I'm gonna be there one day, fucking drinking all the champagne and living it up. And it's yeah, it's not a career. It's a dream.
yeah, I believe that. I got you. I'm rooting
Yeah,
for you, dude. I'm rooting for you, dude.
yeah. Hope they don't find these
Woo!
fucking podcasts because they'll realize I'm fucked.
That'd be crazy. They're just like, oh,
Oh god.
what's this? Um, but
Dude.
yeah, thank you for sharing your topic with us. Really appreciated that. And now we are in the home stretch of the podcast. We're at the end. Honestly, we only have two different parts for the submissions for this one. For now, it's only the Hug Fairy one and the song recommendation. So the only Hug Fairy recommendation that I have gotten was for Grandson. So after that
Bless
really
up.
depressing ass TikTok, someone sent in, I want to give Grandson a Hug Fairy because I'm sad now. And I was like, yeah, me too. I get it. So Jordan, if you're listening to this, this is a hug from the grandkids. Um we're proud of you. We appreciate you. Thank you. And yeah, whatever. I'm not going to get all emotional about it. But yeah, that's the from us to you. Thank you. Blah blah blah. Hug fairy.
Mhm.
Hug it out. It's yours. Um, and I don't
Fuck
like
out of here.
I don't like being too sentimental, okay?
You
I cry at
fucking.
everything. If I show any hint
Oh.
of emotion, I'll sob. So, I you are appreciated. You deserve a hug. Thank you. Next. um last part of the podcast is our music recommendation spot. This is where I and my guests talk about a little bit what we've been listening to, recommend a song for the grandkids, and then I go through some grandkid picks, and that's pretty much how we're gonna end the episode. So starting off with you, what you been listening to, what do you recommend for the grandkids, what's up, what do you wanna do, what's going on?
Okay. First of all, I get flamed by the grandkids because I'm late to a lot of stuff. I've only just been listening to um Choke. I literally today I started listening to it. I didn't no I was busy when it came out or something. Uh, but another thing I've been listening to is obviously the new Linkin Park song came out
Lost.
recently. Who the
Lost.
fuck doesn't like Linkin Park?
Oh
And
my
that's kind of
gosh.
brought me back to One More Light, their final album. Fucking emotional experience.
Yeah.
Especially hearing someone like fucking Stormzy rapping on a Linkin Park song. Incredible.
Yeah.
My favorite one out of that album,
Damn.
if I had to recommend a song to the grandkids, it would be Sharp Edges. It's the last song on their last album, and it's something different. But it's not as heavy as a lot of Linkin Park stuff, but I just recently, been feeling a little bit soft about some stuff, and it's just a very emotional song, and yeah, it makes me miss Chester a bit as well, which is a little
Yeah.
bit sad, but yeah, but that's
No,
it,
I
man.
get you. Throughout me editing the anniversary episode, I edited the night the song came out, and I was just earbuds in, like full blast. One ear had the podcast, the other ear had Lost, and I just
Fuck
looped
yeah.
that sucker. I was in here like I'm lost and like editing and shit. Like
it's
I
bad.
was, it's so good, but it made me like so. I don't know. It was such a bittersweet thing. It's
Yeah,
like
it's really
so nice.
melancholic, isn't it?
It's so
Yeah.
nice to hear his voice in a different context. Um, almost 6 years now. Um, it's just nice to hear his voice in a different context, but it's also I don't know. It's just so like it's
You miss him,
surreal.
don't you?
It's
You miss him.
yeah. It's man that shit. Um, but yeah, I I didn't remember that Stormzy was on that album, by the way, until you just said that, and now the entire song is
Oh
playing in
mate,
my head.
he kills it as well.
I
He
love Good
kills
Goodbye.
it.
I love Good
Oh
Goodbye.
my god.
Oh my gosh, man, I love that album. That's funny because I had reignited my love for Linkin Park right before that album came out, and that album was like my album. So I gotta give that a listen again. I'm super excited for Meteora to have its 20th anniversary. I'm super stoked for
In
that.
20 years as well. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
20
that's
years.
that's a lot.
A long
It's
time.
man, I'm glad to know that I'm older than it. I didn't know. I by 1 year, I made it.
Christ.
I made it. Um, but yeah, no, Meteora is my favorite album by them. It's always been a toss up between Hybrid Theory and Meteora, but Meteora
Hmm.
has it like by like that much.
Oh, I don't know.
So,
I'm a hybrid
I'm
theory
super
guy
excited.
personally, but yeah.
I love Hybrid Theory, but Meteora, when I first heard Meteora, like for the first time as a conscious person, um, I heard Nobody's Listening and I lost my mind. I thought it was like the best track ever created. It has the instrumental for it is absolutely bonkers. And then Figure oh 09 is like my favorite song on the entire album. And then it's got like classics like it's just the way I love that album so much. But that's not my song recommendation. Hi. I will talk about Linkin Park all day. But my song recommendation is okay, here's what's fun. Um I really love a band called Friday Pilots Club. I am flying to Chicago from the time this is done. I'm flying on Saturday to go see them in Chicago at their hometown uh Heartbreak Ball type show. And they just dropped two songs. And the song I'm going to recommend is Miss Supernova because that song is absolute pain and I feel like I should suffer with others. So, it's a really good song. I'm a sucker for songs that have like good theming. As a songwriter myself, I love when an entire song takes a concept and runs with it, but it's also a metaphor for something else. It's it's one of my favorite things in the world, and Miss Supernova does that so well because it has all of the space and like intergalactic imagery, but it uses it to talk about like this downfall of a relationship. And it's one of the most beautiful things I have ever heard in my life. I've had it on loop for the last little while, along with all of the Sleep Token songs that I'm still looping. And just to pause on that and be mentally ill for a second, it hasn't been a month since I found Sleep Tokens as of recording this, and not only are they in my top 10 most listened to artists of all time, but two of their songs are in my 10th and 11th spot of most streamed songs by me of all time. That's a thing. So yeah, never underestimate the power of me and my on repeat button. And then unpinning that, I've had Miss Supernova on repeat for a little while. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you're sad. If you're sad and you want to be sad with me, then listen to Miss Supernova. And then we're gonna end it off with the grandkid song recommendations. This is fun because no one's done any submissions, so I was in a Discord call with some of the grandkids, as I am. and we were just chilling, and I was like, "Hey, give me song recommendations."
Oh,
And
good. I'm gonna judge people here. I'm gonna judge people.
and the first one that I was given was "I'm Not Crying, You're Crying" by Pink Shift. Pink Shift is a band that I'm just now starting to get into. They're good. I like them. I want to get into them more, but I've been so stuck on Sleep Token and Friday Pilots Club that my brain don't work, and I can't really get into any other music properly. But they're really really good. They open for Oxymorons. If you like Oxymorons, and you like bands that are not led by cis white men, then you'll like
To be
Pink Shift.
fair though, cis white men, we're doing alright.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyways,
sorry, cut out,
um,
please. I'm begging.
yeah. Anyways,
I couldn't keep
um,
a straight face. I couldn't
um,
do it. I couldn't do it.
I wasn't even gonna try. I wasn't even, honestly.
Oh, you just left me out to dry
I
there.
did.
A giggle would have been nice. A
Nope.
snicker, anything. I
Nope.
mean, you just hung me out. Oh.
And then song recommendation number 2, um, hasn't even come out. It's Eulogy. I don't know why they would say that. Um, I'm gonna
They
stick to this, but
blanked.
what is wrong with you? No, that's my baby for real. Yeah, Eulogy by Grandson. It'll probably be out by the time this episode comes out. Because I have my theory and I'm gonna drop it on the day it drops. Or the day I think that Eulogy's gonna drop, I'm gonna drop this episode. Or I'm gonna drop it the day after. Because I already know. I know. Every single thought that Grandson has had is not unique because I've had it first and I sent it to him. So I know when everything's coming out already.
If anything, he's
Sorry, y'all.
copying you at this point.
Exactly. But yeah, they also had a joke song as a recommendation, but I can't remember it, and it was something from like a kids show. I don't know. Ciao, anyways. And then the very last song recommendation is "Fields of Elation" by Sleep Token. It's so good. It's so good. It's from like their first EP. It's so good. That wasn't me, by the way. That was someone else. That's
Gonna
someone I've
say,
influenced.
did
That's
this
someone I've
person
influenced.
were they called like Schneider or something by any chance?
Hate
Like,
to hear it. It wasn't me. It wasn't. I promise it was not me. Okay, it's one of the people I've indoctrinated into liking Sleep Token, but it was not me. Anyways, Fields of Elation, really good song. It's from their first EP called One. It has 3 songs. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous EP. It's like it's beautiful. It's art. It's art. It's art music, but not like art pop. Art pop's a little old. But if you like music that's beautiful and uh mm, Fields of Elation by Sleep Token. And that is about it. We made it. We have made it through the podcast form. Nick, you are now officially have been a guest on the
we've made it
podcast.
through 2 podcasts now. We haven't been
Woo,
arguing.
yeah.
We've not been crying
Yeah.
much. How
You've
do you
had to
do?
talk to me for that long. I feel
Yeah,
so
I think
bad.
it's mutual though. I feel like
My bad, OG.
we're both just like not good people. I don't know.
Yeah.
We both just suck to be around, you know, just
Yeah, but
annoying,
now we get to
loud.
go our separate ways and never
Yeah,
talk to each other ever again.
I'm
Um,
excited for it. I can't
yeah, no,
wait. I can't wait to.
I've
I'll
been
like a
waiting
few
this
tweets.
entire time,
I'll like
man.
a few tweets maybe. I'll just be like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'll still
More sleep
acknowledge your
token. Right.
existence, but I think that's
Yeah.
enough, you know?
I think honestly, it's nice to have a good ending with someone. Put a pin in it, you know.
Yeah,
We
this is
came,
good.
we saw, we made a podcast, and
Yeah,
then, you know, some friends aren't going to be there for the rest of your life, and
real.
it is what it is. So
Honestly, that's a great lesson. That's a great lesson, I think.
yeah,
But no, in all seriousness, thank you for being both the guest host for the podcast and a guest on the podcast. I really appreciate you being on here and everything. I appreciate you, listener or watcher, for listening.
yeah.
And I hope you have a grantastic day. It doesn't stop hurting. It hurts every time. It hurts. It hurts every time.